as always, this is your weekly podcast, Knowledge Empowers. With you is me, Kat. 안녕하세요. Then we have Baruch.
Hello, hello, hello.
And we have Kolach.
Dobré ráno, good morning, everyone.
Ooh, that was like energy as from the last podcast. At least not lower nor higher. And as far as I know, Baruch has prepared something for us.
Yes, actually, because we already talked about few cases where I was like, oh, guys, we should apply 5 whys to this. And you could be familiar with this topic. Have you heard of 5 whys?
Yes.
Yes. Do you know what that is? Can you define it?
No.
I would say it's a method or a framework which you can use to analyze a problem to find a root cause. Something like that.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the root cause analysis methods. And it's probably the most popular one, and that's why we are going through it today. So actually, I want to ask you if you ever were in a situation where you try to solve a problem, but in some time it came back to you, maybe in a little bit different shape, different form. You did something, you fixed something, you think you fixed it, and then it just came back.
Yeah, maybe the most recent is that we've had a small apartment rework done. Like painting the walls and having my brick wall done actually. So when I thought that, okay, after this 1 week of troubles, or actually 2 weeks of troubles, everything is done. Actually, it took about a month actually at the end.
Oh.
The brick wall started to fall apart. So yeah, it was not done. It came back basically. Is it something like that?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a problem that came back. Well,
sort of.
Yeah.
It wasn't the problem at the beginning.
Yes, now it is. Maybe even better example than I wanted to hear. We can take this example, but first we'll take another one, like my example exercise. I will put you in a situation, and I would like to see how you solve it. So. Okay, so you two guys.
Kaboom. No.
Kaboom.
There will be no kaboom. You two guys, you moved to a new country, a new town. It's not a huge town, but
why?
You are starting with the right question, not at the right time. But yeah, thank you for your input, Kolach. All right. So you moved to a new country, new town, and you are looking for a new job. But in the meantime, you are one of the conscious citizens, and you volunteer to help with organizing a new fair that happens during weekend. They are just starting, and they want to organize it every weekend during summer. So, and you were asked to clean up the area where the fair is happening. It's kind of a park, and there is space for stalls, but you expect there will be a lot of kids, and there is a lot of broken glass around the floor. So you were asked by, let's say, a mayor as a group of volunteers to clean up the environment. What will you do?
First of all, this story totally doesn't sound like me.
All right, so you are not in the story. Kat, what will you do?
I wanted to first ask what she means by a not so big town, because she's coming from China, and in China 7 million town is a small town. So I want to know how big, what's the inhabitants before we start talking.
All right, this is almost village-like town. It's barely a town.
Slovak village town.
Yes,
okay.
kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not over 1 million.
30,000 people. Yeah.
Okay.
how much of the broken glass is there? Is it like just?
Well, it's usually around the
or-
benches and around that area. Sometimes like around the bushes.
What type of glass is it? Green, white?
It's green. It's brown, white.
But what's the question?
What would you do if you were asked to volunteer here?
It wasn't the question if I was asked to clean it up.
Yes,
Or-
yes, yeah,
And what I would do.
yes.
Yeah.
But do I need to start already with wise? No. First, I need like setup of I can ask for setup of expectations. Like, for example, will I be given a bucket where to put the glass? Will I get some protective gloves to pick it up? Any equipment, or do I need to even take care of the equipment? Will I be able to
You will get everything
other
you need.
people?
You get everything you need to clean it up.
Okay, then I would start. What is the date of the not the fair itself, but when the people who are building the stools, right? So I know the deadline by when the place really needs to be clean, and based on that, I would maybe set either shifts or time to start cleaning, and groups of people.
That's a really good question. This is a week before all the organization, all the people and stuff start to build the stalls.
So we have 1 week to clean it up. Then I would ask how many people can I count with to come and help. And I would then seek the perimeters and put peoples into groups. And maybe I would define depends how the park looks like, but maybe as a squares or places, okay, this is your area to clean. We'll be here and here and here. And then I would also have, after each cleaning, a group of people, different eyes, just to see whether everything is cleaned.
And here I am, a simpleton one, so I would take the things and start cleaning.
Okay. Thank you. I like
If
how,
you are just one person,
it's okay. I mean, you were not asked to organize it. You were asked to clean. So
Yeah. So that's why I was like, okay, so I'm a volunteer here. I voluntarily went here, and my task, which was given to me, can you please clean it up? Okay, here are your things. Okay, I'm going for that.
and you start cleaning. Okay.
But I like you actually looked into it more, Kat. And they were really good questions because they are going to help you now. All right. But at the same time, what Collage did is probably what most of the people would do. They would just go and clean. You are the volunteer at the end. So yeah, this is what was your expectation. So you need to clean the premises. So you clean the space, the environment around. The stalls were there, fair went well, and they want it to happen again. But that area, that park, gets rubbish all over the place again, especially broken glass. So what would you do in this situation?
Not my problem. I'm not the organizer.
Okay, Kat is the organizer though.
Since when?
since you started to be more active in the whole organization and you were asking questions last time.
God damn it. There we go with that initiative person.
Yeah, you're that person.
Is it the same amount of a broken glass or
Around the same, yes.
around the same? Okay.
Maybe a little bit less. But
It's
still
just
dangerous.
after the first fair. So I would again do the same, split people into groups and give them areas and then start cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
There would be any suspicion for me because there were too many people, fairs and stuff. So it just gets dirty.
Collage, would you clean it up?
Only when asked.
Okay. As a volunteer,
when it comes to suspicions, I would be really pissed, You know, like okay, so I cleaned it up yesterday and now it's back again. I would probably report it to the organizer. So, hey, Kat, I'm reporting to you that it's messy again. If they want to clean it up, I would probably clean it up again with the hesitation, or the first like suspicion wouldn't be much of a deal, like maybe like 30-70% that there is like already. So already thinking like, okay, if I clean it up, will it be here tomorrow again or not? So
root cause analysis, maybe even to find out what if there are no bins spread out. So I would.
There are bins.
Okay.
They're actually quite close to benches.
Yeah, and if the bins were, even if the bins weren't there, there wouldn't be glass. It wouldn't be broken. You know, just the whole bottles would be there stuck up. If it's broken, we can start the analysis once we have our suspicions that this is gonna go repeatedly.
Okay.
So I will still wait one day, give them a shot for one extra day.
Okay, spoiler alert, it's going to repeat again. Okay, so yes, so what do you feel right now? What do you feel right now? Like you already volunteered 3 times to clean it up, and what do you feel?
Okay, so but because the fair keeps going for the whole summer, so all the stool stays there the whole summer.
Yes.
But okay, just clean it. Well, that's what I volunteered for, and they want me to clean it, so I'll clean it.
What happened to organizer Kat?
Like I would still divide the people because another weekend is coming. It's time to clean it up, so let's do this.
How about you, Kolac?
Well, I would feel pissed a lot. Like this is the first time I came there, and I've cleaned it 2 times, and I'm supposed to do it the 3rd time. From one perspective, it starts to look like a mundane job. You know, like you come to work and you clean it up first. So that starts to be like, okay, so is this really what I'm looking for from this volunteering? And I would probably start asking the question in terms like, if we are going to continuously clean it up, like should my job throughout the whole fair be that this is my job, that I first come to work at 7 and I clean it up, because it's going to repeat probably.
I have 2 questions.
Go on.
One, as this is a fair, so the stools are there, etc. Is there any security that's supposed to look after all the things, the equipment that was placed there?
It is there during the fair, like during the weekend.
But not during the night, like
no.
In case
when stalls close down, they are all gone.
Okay. And the second question I wanted to ask, when people are there, do they sell anything of glass, or it only happens like from 9 until the morning that the glass appears?
The glass appears actually they find it in the morning. You find it in the morning, like when you go for volunteering, you find it there.
So okay. So maybe I would go to the organizer, of the whole event, and I would complain that it only happens that the glass appears there from 9 to morning. If we could have some security to look after the place, because we are putting lots of human resources into cleaning up, and that's a waste of the human resources to go every night. So if we could have some security, maybe install cameras or a people.
That's a very good thinking. And Kat, at the same time, Mayor has decided that he's going to cut the number of volunteers to half, because, you already cleaned the place 3 times, so there cannot be that much rubbish, right? So, and there is that security guy, but they agree, that the mayor agrees to hire the security guy instead of, getting more volunteers for you. Thank you, Kat. And what security guys finds out is that during night, there are people drinking on the benches, mostly homeless people.
I quit as volunteer.
Why? They are not there during the day. What?
I want to have my summer free by cleaning it every weekend.
They are not there during the day because there's a security, and they tell them to go away, and because they're kids, and they are not there during the day, and they are there during the night. And okay, so this is a good time to start asking why. So in 5 whys, root cause analysis, we are theoretically supposed to ask why 5 times until we get to the root cause of the problem. It is only theoretical number. You should get to root cause of the problem no matter how many whys it takes. Eventually, there should be at the bottom, at that root of the problem should be a reason that is either connected to people, so people made some mistakes, or process. A process is faulty. So let's start with that root cause analysis and 5 whys in this situation.
So can I start like why the homeless people appear there?
Mm-hmm. They are there.
Night.
Yeah, actually, you already have the security guy there, and he can give you a lot of information. He's local person, unlike you, and he knows what the town is suffering from. And he says like there is a new shop, gift shop open, and that sells mostly snacks and alcohol quite cheaply. And it's open 24/7.
Let's move that shop further from the park. Dear Mayor.
Does it mean that the security guy suggests that the homeless people are coming during the night because the shop is open closely and the park is empty? Like,
yeah, that's one of the...
If it's open 24/7, why at night?
Actually, that is the place where there is a bus stop, and homeless people need to change there to get to homeless shelter.
I see. And where is the shelter?
Shelter is far. It's not that far away, but you need to go by bus to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't there a rule that you have to be sober to get to a shelter?
Could be.
So then, why do they drink in the park, even though they're waiting for the bus, when the result would be they would be not allowed to enter the shelter place?
They're alcoholic.
Done.
Exactly. It's like, and?
Okay, so do you feel like you're at the root of the problem?
Well, you can go deeper to get psychologist volunteers that they could speak to each person individually just to find out if they want to help or they want to do something with their lives or want to go to AAA, Anonymous Alcoholic Groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the group would be reduced.
Mm-hmm.
But again, even if you have homeless people and you try to move them, you just move the whole problem elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what about you, Kolach?
Well, I feel that there are like 2 branches. So we went through one of those branches, and so we talked why these homeless people are meeting there. It's because there is a shop closed. Why there is a shop closed? Well, it's one of those shops that's basically there. They have a business. Why not? We found out that, okay, so we went through that part. The other part is, okay, so how come that there are homeless people at all? Why there is not security in the park during the night generally, so we can go and ask and talk about the system, which we haven't explored. Like I say, why mayor hasn't put the security guard into the park also throughout the night.
That's a good observation that we actually have more branches. Usually when you do root cause analysis, there is only one real root cause. Usually, not always, but usually. And the other aspects are contributors to the problem. So actually, when you ask 5 whys, every time you answer, what you can do is try to find a solution to that answer of why. So, for example, when Kat asked why do they drink, and I said because they are alcoholic, you can definitely go for solution there already. So you don't need to get to actual root cause to do any actions. It's probably better if you go to the deepest level and try to find solution there. So eventually, what would you do? To be honest, I think this is quite a complex situation considering it's made up. To be honest, I'm a little bit on Kat's side, because what is the problem is the broken bottles, and they are dangerous. And if people wouldn't be alcoholic, they wouldn't be there. So let's imagine, what do you think would happen if we move the shop?
That's the question, whether they would move with the shop if, like you've said, there is a bus stop taking them to shelter. But then again, as far as I know, shelters have the rule that you cannot be drunk to be able to get to the shelter. So
yeah,
it's hard.
The impact of the bus stop is also important, not just the shop. So if we move the shop, we may not solve the problem. You know, we may, because we create a barrier, extra distance, so it can influence it a bit. The question is how much, because they can buy the alcohol probably also somewhere else at a different time. Probably.
We can also close the park for night. Similar, like we have the park here, right? So it closes down at 9 p.m. and opens it up at 7 a.m. So we could close the park to secure it. We could even speak to the homeless people that it's okay, they can stay here, they can drink if that's what they like, and we would just ask them, please just don't break the bottles, and just ask them if you could throw it over here, and explain them that what are the consequences that kids coming here and then lots of people need to clean it. So we would just ask them, please just don't break it.
Or we could, for example, ask mayor to invest some finances and actually take everyone to treatment, you know, to some other place, you know, city where they actually spend 2 weeks and get a treatment and actually get rid of the alcoholism. Or actually, I don't think that you can get rid of it, but, you know, fight it.
But that's what I've said before, that I would get a group of psychologists, right, to speak individually with everyone, because that's the thing, that you cannot force them. You need to want to get rid of the addiction, right? So maybe the simplest solution is just simply ask them, it's okay, you want to drink, fine, I'm not gonna forbid you, but just could you please not break up the bottles, and instead of either just lay them here or put them in a bin, so in the morning we can just collect them, and I would explain them what happens.
We can also ask why they are alcoholics.
That's true.
Yeah, whether it's a work problem or it's a household
Family
problem,
or mental.
family problem. Yeah,
Oh, that's the stuff for psychologists, right? So yeah.
it could be, but it could also lead to prevent us for the future cases. You know, like I've read about this case in a real life case with 5 whys, where there was some sort of minister, and he was asking why there is such a high rate of child abortions in the region. And he discovered a lot of young ladies go there. So he started asking, again, why young ladies are coming in. He found out that they have, of course, sex unprotected. Then he started to ask why, and he actually started to, instead of actually solving the laws regarding abortion, he started to solve school educating system. Which is totally different stuff, you know, like in a short term, you are not changing shit, you know. So in this case, a mayor wouldn't solve alcoholics or those homeless people there at the spot, but he would avoid creating more of them in the future.
Exactly. And
you can listen our podcast about STDs and using condom on our different podcast. That's just related to collage story.
that's right. So you found the root cause. After you apply solution to it, and it works with the solution, and if you remove the solution, the problem comes back in full. So you found the root cause of the problem. So it doesn't work just halfway there. It's just, it's completely there. It's like on-off switch. That solution is on-off switch.
What if I do the solution, it works, it happens again, but then there is a different root cause? Or it means that it was totally wrong altogether?
Yeah, that means that you didn't find the root cause if it was totally wrong, and yes, there could be a new situation, new circumstances, and means that you need to find the new root cause.
Mm-hmm.
So does it mean, or what you're trying to tell us is, you do as many whys as you need, or you ask as many whys, and if you think you found a solution to your root cause and you think you found a root cause, you apply the solution, it may come back, which means we didn't find the right root cause.
Right. You didn't find the root cause, you just find a cause, one of the contributing factors.
And so the 5 whys really work until you really you are able to identify the root cause, apply a proper solution, and it never comes back.
Well, yes, until the circumstances won't change.
This is like, I like this game, but that's why I'm not a coach, because I suck in asking questions. and
you say you suck, but when you started this game, is that you started asking a lot of questions. So how come did you?
Yes, but I applied my 20 plus years of experience as a project manager. Like, I'm not thinking just a simple person, you are volunteer, come and clean up. I'm really thinking of more of a wider, and that's what I applied. But if you have you started asking total different questions because you are so used to asking very interesting questions, me not. I always think first solution, which in this case we shouldn't think of a solution.
I wasn't asking any questions.
Yes, you were.
My first response was that I'm gonna clean it up and that's it.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna argue with you. For those who are just listening, Kola just put his eye very close to the camera, showing me the way he's looking at me.
Actually, Kat, it's not bad if at the beginning you just do the job. Like, you don't need to ask questions right away. You had only 1 week to clean up the park, right? So you would not probably be able to do any systematic changes in 1 week, right? You wouldn't be able to organize some AA meetings or whatever was needed. So, but what can you see as a difference between your first approach and what we came up with?
But even my first approach is different towards collage. Collage said he would just go and clean. Where do I need to start and buy one? Whereas I said, how many people do I have? How big is the area? I would already split it into, sections, and then each person is responsible for that section.
You're trying to organize.
I'm already looking at it from the more complex view and organizing. You see where I'm coming from? That's my job.
Yeah.
Right? So
what is your lesson learned from this, Kat?
Kat, stop analyzing. You volunteer, just clean. That's all you have to do. Don't apply your skills here. Clean.
How about you, Coach? What would you give as a lesson learned for Kat?
Just to make sure that you are the right person at the right spot. If you're a volunteer who is supposed to organize, or if you're a volunteer who is supposed to do the job. Basically.
Okay.
So
That's the thing. I think that's my problem. That exactly what Colette said. If you're a volunteer and they ask you clean, should you switch off your, let's say, expertises that you already have because you volunteer to bring your hands and legs, right?
Depends on what you want to achieve, I think.
It all depends on what you want to achieve, on the expectations altogether. You have like, when you go for volunteering, like, I don't know, you went for cooking for kids or something like that, you weren't questioning their menus or where they
Cooking
take
for homeless people, yeah.
So you weren't actually asking like, where do you get the food from, and so that we can cook, and where it's gonna be. No, you just came and you did it. So
Yes.
that's done. The same with goes to other volunteering. You know, like you didn't come and organize stuff. You know, so
It depends, really. Of course, if the situation is as we described, is that after some time the number of volunteers needs to get reduced, and the problem appears again and again and again, and it may be causing some dangerous situations. Maybe some kids can get hurt and other stuff. It's probably better to look at it from more holistic point of view and put more brain into it than just hands.
and this, I think, again, is a lot about the people who are driving the activity, not just you as the individual, because you can come up with a nice solution, you can start asking questions, you can find a solution, but if the people up there or the leaders or whoever is there or the others don't care about it, like if they don't care that the glass is there every night and they just tell you to clean it up, like it becomes really part of cleaning professional, you know. So you don't have really much of a choice, you know, like you just go and do it, or you quit, or it's something, you know.
And so we hope you like this. It was very interesting. I remember when I studied my PM studies, project management studies, and you go through this methodology, and you do learn, and every time I just keep learning more and more. Not always you are able to use all of the methodologies that people teach you, right? Because you also need to be like in fine tune with those methodology and then be able to apply them. So let us know if you did try them and how that worked for you. You can write it in the comments for us. And with that, I'm gonna say 수고하셨습니다.
Bye bye.
Bye bye, have a nice day. Majte sa, ciao, ciao, ciao.
This podcast represents our own opinions, experience, and our own ideas. We do not represent any official statement from our employers, and this is not their official channel representing the company.